Word.
Please film you being like, Tom, you know you did that word degree.
About to say YouTubers react, but I don't think we're there yet.
Can't really make noises when you flick this part. Craziness. You're recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't see him rubbing his throat, but he is massaging it,
I was flicking my glands.
and that makes it so much worse.
Glands, pulse.
There you go.
There we go.
There's a noise.
And welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So we're down one down this week, but this means we get to have someone so much better.
Flaky Dan.
No, not flaky down. We get dedicated pen.
That is
Persistent
terrible.
ped.
Persistent ped, yeah. I keep trying to come back.
Pretentious
and see if they
ped.
let me in. That too. I've got a bit of a cold this week, so I'm just hoping that it gives me that sexy voice like Phoebe in Friends. But, we'll see what happens.
Fair. You already heard Luke on the glandular.
Hi.
That's him. I'm Gabe, and this is Don't Tap the Table.
Insert intro song here.
I thought that would do your little water drop noise.
Oh.
There we go. Intro, song, done.
How are we, Gabe? How was your week?
My week was chill, that was it, really. It was I'm really bad at talking about my week, because I'll either tell you what I ate and every time I ate it and how often I breathed, or I will say it was chill.
You're a man of two extremes, aren't you?
Yeah, and both of them are a bit annoying, so I try and rein them in.
I think what we meant to say was this week he watched Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah, that's also true. To be fair, I did watch Peaky Blinders, and the only thing I have to say to that is Shelby!
Yeah, I've not
We've
seen
not
it.
seen it.
Yeah,
so
that's
Yeah,
fair. That's fine.
I've heard a lot about it. A lot of people really like it. One of the few BBC shows that people actually care about.
It's true.
So that's a good sign.
All I know is the main character is the guy that plays Scarecrow in the first Batman film.
And incredibly good looking.
I mean,
Do you reckon?
I think, yeah.
yeah,
That fake, that bone structure, that
Yeah.
jaw, yeah.
Fair play.
and both eyes, boy. Crystal blue. But
Isn't that a stripper name?
if it's not, and you're listening and think it could suit, run with it, dear
Yeah,
listeners.
any girls out there that know Crystal Blue, sorry to offend you.
Crystal blue.
Similarly related to crystal meth.
Loose relations.
Yeah. But no, I proper enjoyed it. I can see why people big it up and hype it up. But what I will say about Peaky Blinders is every time I blink, I feel like I've missed 8 important plot points.
Really?
It's
Even
so-
in the first episode?
It was so packed, man.
You come in for one episode and boom, age restricted.
Oh yeah.
Look at the face! He doesn't know what to make of that. He's like, oh, balls.
I think we can safely say the majority of our listeners are over 18 because we know them all.
Shout out to Sam, Dom and Kirsten. Every week I'll give them a shout out.
Yeah, shout out guys, cheers. Sorry for corrupting what was once a beautiful event.
I don't know if it was ever a beautiful event, but thanks for that.
But yeah, sorry, first episode.
Yeah, so Crystal Blue and his Manchester. Nah, it's set in Birmingham, late 1919. So we got the aftermath of the First World War. We've got horse races are still a big thing. Cars less so. The IRA is a big deal, and communism is also a big deal.
Mhm.
So that kind of sets the stage. We meet Thomas Shelby, played by Cillian Murphy, also known as Crystal Meth. Or was it Crystal Blue?
It was crystal
A little
blue.
bit of column A, bit of column
A
B.
little bit of both. And we find out that he is sort of, and full disclosure, spoilers for episodes 1 and possibly 2 of Peaky Blinders. He is a member of the Shelby family, who are basically
Is that the spoiler?
one of many. Thomas Shelby is a member of the Shelby family, who are a bunch of kind of like bookies / gangsters who kind of run things in Birmingham, and kind of, they got the cops on the payroll. They got little pubs in their pocket. They walk into a pub, they get drinks on apps. So yeah,
Is it set in Birmingham because it's cheaper for the BBC to film there?
I think it might be.
Also, they're trying to show more regional people on TV, aren't they?
I think that also might have been it. I don't know exactly, but you get strong Brummie accents.
It's basically TGF Bro in the last century. Slightly more violence.
I wouldn't go that far. I still think...
I don't know, it was in the TGF Bro video.
I was going to say...
No one's died yet.
I think the first few episodes, TGF might have him over a barrel.
What do you mean?
Well, that is what gangsters do. Get him over a barrel, shoot him in the head, that kind of thing.
Double tap.
Ooh.
Pap, pap, pap.
Oh, that's triple tap.
Pap, pap.
Don't mix up the scene like that. You can't just come into the gangster world and whip out the triple tap.
You are a loose cannon.
You are
if
a
you're doing an
loose
extra
cannon.
pap.
I'm a safe cracker, boy. So yeah, we meet
Oh
Thomas
my God,
Shelby.
we've got reoccurring jokes. Unless you skip over some episodes, in which case,
That was the
fuck
first
you.
time. In which case, we'll insert the laugh tracks. That's the first time you've heard it.
The laugh track. Gabe, can you get a laugh track?
I
He
don't-
can make one. It'll just be him being like, ha ha ha.
Just quietly in the background.
Moving on. That's the end of his laugh track.
So yeah, we meet Thomas Shelby, and then we meet sort of the rest of the family. There's Aunt Pol, who kind of ran the business while all the boys were away at war.
Aunt Paul.
Aunt Pol, short for Polly.
Oh, Paul. Okay.
We got Arthur Shelby, who's got the ugliest mustache I've ever seen.
Do
But
we also have Quarter Shelby?
there's one who looks a bit like he could be a quarter Shelby, but we don't know his name yet. But yeah, Arthur Shelby, who I think is kind of like the official head of the family, although he's dumb as heck and gets mad real easy. And yeah, bristly mustache. And then there's Ada Shelby, who's like flapper chick. So that's the Shelby family. And then we also meet there's a Bolshevik fella, communist,
Ooh.
who's leading a bunch of union uprisings and strikes.
We studied that in history, we did.
We did,
You know
yeah.
the
I'll tell you about Bolsheviks.
Ped can tell you about Bolsheviks.
Quickly excusing yourself from that.
1915.
It's true, that.
Yeah, I know some dates. I can't remember what I think it was the October Revolution.
Yeah.
This isn't a history podcast.
He does have a history degree though, so he might be suited for that.
What?
Love that the one episode Dan isn't here. The one episode Dan's not here, we talk about communist Russia.
Oh my God, get done. Oi, flaky Dan, stop being flaky. Listen to the tunes.
So we meet him. Then we also meet who is kind of, I'm pretty sure, like the villain for the series, but I'm not entirely sure because no one's up to any good. A police inspector who's transferred from Belfast after like clearing out the IRA there.
Mhm.
So he's a no-nonsense, hard-knuckle, break into your house at night, drag you off the street, punch you till you're bloody, and then be like, I know you do crimes, and then throw you back out kind of guy. Which he did do in the pilot.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, he's more TGF bros than, the Shelby brothers. But, so we meet them. We kind of learned that the Shelbys are kind of low-level thugs in the gangster world, but Thomas Shelby wants to go on the up and up.
Yeah.
He's the brains. We learned that by accident, because accidents happen, he was gonna steal a bunch of booze from London, but accidentally ends up stealing a massive arms shipment bound for Libya. Which
Are you dealing with Libya at that point?
Well, apparently.
Wow.
My history is not so hot.
Wasn't just Gaddafi then.
Yeah, my degree is Microsoft Paint, not like not history. But yeah, so the Shelby brothers have a bunch of guns worth a lot of money, and this Irish guy has basically been sent in to quietly get that back.
Mhm.
He thinks the communists have it. A bunch of trouble starts happening. Oh, and also Tommy's got PTSD pretty bad. Episode 1 ends with Irish guy thinking he's going to round up all the communists. He's got a secret agent at the pub who is blonde. The only blonde character on this show, weirdly.
It's weird that you noticed that.
Yeah, it was
Of all observations.
it was surprisingly striking, but it's like no blonde people in 1919 Birmingham.
It's because everything was black and white.
Yeah, all that coal. Oh yeah, there was a Rastafarian Christian preacher as well, and that was great.
Was he blonde?
He was not, funnily enough. He was not. He had sick dreads, but he was not blonde.
Fair.
Can't tick all the boxes. So yeah.
With the PTSD, given that people didn't really know what it was back then, they just told people to get on with it. Is that how they're dealing with it in this?
It kind of was. Like, this one guy kept flashbacking back to thinking he was in the Somme and kind of on the battlefield.
When you flash back.
I'm bringing flashbacks back.
I've just got flash dance in my head now.
That's just your life though, isn't it?
It's not a bad life to have. Anyway, this one guy, Danny, he's like tripping out hard, and every so often, like in the pub, he ends up like wrecking it because he's freaking out. And Tommy keeps calming him down because they serve together, and everyone's either like, "Look, get him out of here, sort him out," or we're gonna have beef. He ends up accidentally stabbing an Italian guy, who apparently have a gang of their own, and
that's classic Italian.
Yeah, it's classic. And then Tommy ends up.
It's in all the films. I watch all the films. I'm a Godfather and Goodfellas. All Italians. Wow.
That was a reaction.
Italiano Americano.
La Cosa Nostra. There you go.
Look at him go. Yeah.
Proper swish. So yeah.
No, they're Italian, not Swiss.
Oh.
You dirty.
I'm
That was a dirty joke.
I'm gonna walk out now. Yeah, Tommy has to basically shoot Danny Boy in front of the Italians to stop a gang war.
Right.
And then, major spoiler, it ends up that the gun was loaded with sheep guts as a blank, so it looked like he died, and Danny's being sent on a secret mission.
Are they like Bugsy Malone style guns? Because otherwise, how could you have like? Yeah, obviously minus the cream pie.
Look, I think
Splurge.
it's Bugsy Malone and revolvers, yeah,
Okay. Because otherwise, like, how did you fit the guts into the chamber?
with a little poker.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
it's quite a small chamber.
You played
isn't it?
poker.
I'm really badly.
Yeah, you're not one for bluffing. You're an open book.
This is true. I'm very legible.
Barely.
Oh. I'm an open book, but no one can read me.
Oh, that's so deep.
It's too deep for this show. But yeah, that was episode 1
Of
of
Narcos.
a different podcast.
No, there were blondes in there.
Yeah, there were blondes in
Well,
Narcos.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Pep seems to come on
Why
every
being
time
racist?
every time I review crime shows.
Oh, that's a good
Crime shows are interesting. Like, I watched The Sopranos all in one go and really enjoyed that.
And Goodfellas, you enjoyed that.
Yeah, Goodfellas. The Godfather's alright. I don't think it's the best film ever made. Sorry for the controversial opinion.
What's the other Robert De Niro one that you watched? The Italian Americanos. They're all very similar.
Yeah. Hence why I can't-
You'll get that
That's
at
why-
some point.
That's why I can't think of it. Yeah.
I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
They're all very similar, but all very good in a
Mhm.
weird way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's the same tried and tested formula, isn't it? Normally it's the person who is doing crime and then has second thoughts about it and is trying to work out whether they want to do it or not, and eventually they get sucked back in.
I like the Departed. That was my favourite one.
Oh, that was
DiCaprio,
Yeah,
Matt
that's very
Damon,
good.
crime one. That was awesome. You should watch that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's a little bit old now. It might not be as fresh as your Netto, Flecko, or Ridgos, but
I mean, to be fair, apparently Peaky Blinders is BBC originally, so we
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
okay.
cheated the system on that one.
what?
But Netflix brands it as original, and I had a good time. So
The Departed is really good. It's Scorsese, so you know it's going to be good.
give it a watch anyhow.
But you can't really take it seriously because they're just constantly swearing.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but they're constantly swearing in these Boston accents, and it's great.
I feel like after Crystal Blue,
Yeah.
or we can kind of
But it was crystal meth that did it, Kate.
Crystal meth will do it for you. Yeah.
important news.
Crystal blue, isn't that just what they made in Breaking Bad?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That is true.
Hey.
Fair.
Another film, another show about crime.
Another film. That's a
Speaking
lot
of
of film.
crime films,
Yeah.
me and Ped watched Deadpool 2.
Oh, we
That is
did.
that is a crimey
That was a
film.
banger.
Yeah,
Did it crime you a river?
What?
It didn't cry me a river.
Oh, I did cry a bit when his girlfriend died.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert. Sorry.
Retroactive.
Yeah, no, I did cry at that actually. That was emotional. Sad when Mr. Poole finally gets his love and then it's torn away from him within 5 minutes.
Because I've only seen the first one.
Captain Deadpool.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first one, so how does it compare to like the first Deadpool?
See, I thought it was going to be shite.
Yeah?
Because usually sequels are just terrible. And it's like, we need to churn the money cow.
I don't know.
And
Spider-Man
get that
2.
going. What one?
Well,
There's been a
The
couple.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. Doc Ock. Dr. Octopus.
No, I know what you meant. I'm just trying to remember it.
It was sick.
Yeah, the problem I have with that, and I think Spider-Man's an example of it, is the only good sequels that I could think of were second parts of trilogies.
Oh, that's true. Because
if you're
it's
on the
already
second-
mapped from the start.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you take a trilogy, the first film is usually kind of
Set up.
dead because you're setting it up and
Yeah.
introducing characters. The second film, there's usually a big twist, so it's quite good, and the third one is kind of how you expect it to go because it's a happy ending. So so that's why like everyone says Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars, and a lot of people say Two Towers is the best Lord of the Rings. But I really struggle to think of like an actual sequel that stands alone and is better than the original.
Yeah.
Grease 2 being the exception, obviously.
I can't remember if I'm correct on this, but I think IMDb has a higher score for Deadpool 2 than Deadpool 1. And I have to say, it wasn't like I thought they were going to ruin it by being like, oh, we're just going to make a sequel because the first one was so popular. They definitely didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was just as good.
Yeah, it was really good. It had a bit. The problem is they use the other X-Men that are in it quite a lot, and I don't really like them that much. They're just there as a vehicle for Deadpool to mock.
Well,
But they actually took more of a serious role in this one, and they will do in the next one called X-Force.
X-Force.
Yeah, which is a bit of a turn-off, but...
Does it kind of depend on basically how much you enjoy those characters?
But that was one of the better things I thought about the setup for it, because I hate movie trailers where you watch a trailer and you're like, I basically know the film.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, they sort of made the trailer all about the X-Force and all the people they were going to bring into X-Force as though they were setting that up. And as they were all dive bombing in for the mission, spoiler alert, they all die.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. Like, one of them's called, Vanisher, and they're like interviewing people, and he's standing there, and like, this guy's called the Vanisher, no one's standing there, so you're not sure, and they like make a joke on that. And he turns up later, and you just see a floating parachute come down, flies into a power line, and for a split second, the power drops, and you see it, and it's Brad Pitt's face. Yeah. And it's just like, why the fuck is Brad Pitt there? But it's hilarious, and that's all you see of Brad Pitt, is just this one brief cameo of him getting electrocuted and just dead.
It was a very expensive but very worthwhile cameo.
It was the same with Terry Crews. Like, he was in there with whatever his ability was. I can't remember, parachuted in and died as well, and it was just like, there's just no need for it. But it made it funnier because it was like, and it caught me off guard because I was waiting for this whole thing to be set up. Yeah. And then when they were like, lol joke, I was like, cool, you did it good.
That's one of the few times I think I've ever heard of a trailer which, modern trailers, it always feels like, I just know the film after watching that and going, haha, I know you know the film.
I'm really excited for Venom, but the trailer does kind of give the whole thing away.
It seems to anyway.
It's kind of hard though if you're doing an origin story.
Hardy.
Oh, get out.
That's decent. But yeah, it is hard if you're doing an origin story though, especially for an established character, because most people already know it.
Unless you really twist it, but that's something like any Spider-Man character. It's going to be really hard to do.
You risk upsetting
the core
fans. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like, again, if the trailer didn't give it all away, it looks like that's kind of what it feels like they're doing here.
It looks so good though. Like a Venom standalone, I think is needed. Like, in general, Venom's one of those anti-heroes or villains, depending on your stance.
And I suppose depending on how much you've read as well, because all I knew of Villain was he was super duper 90s from what I heard of in the comics.
It's just popular.
Like, super angsty. And I saw him in basically Spider-Man the animated series.
Actually, it's funny that you say super 90s because it is like Gen X summed up. Like,
yeah.
I hate everyone. I hate Spider-Man. He's so good. I'm gonna be an anti-hero.
Yeah, that and to me, I was like, oh, that's a bit naff. And then seeing Spider-Man the animated series, like, oh, actually, you could go kind of places with it. And hearing more of that, he's got this whole lore behind him, which isn't just 90s emo angst.
I think it does fit with the modern superheroes at the moment. They are a lot more gritty.
They do a lot of films. Bond was reinvented in a grittier way as well. Yeah. I enjoyed that too.
It's interesting because I'm
Joe.
I'm hyped for Venom, but I'm also really weirdly hyped for like Shazam. because that's DC going in a really different direction.
I have no idea who
Yeah, I don't know
Shazam
what
is.
that is,
You
no.
said that like I
Alright,
honestly
fair.
have. DC is
Or-
not what I'm all about. Like,
Or
I have no idea.
Aquaman a little bit.
I've watched
I know
about,
but Aquaman is part of the Justice League. He's a big part of the Justice League. So that if they were going to formulate that, they would have to do an Aquaman film.
I watched half of Justice League with Luke and I was out.
And he was present for the other
Yeah.
half, for what I can remember, but you just weren't watching.
Yeah.
Like you were actively vacant.
I was like, no, thank you.
It was a terrible film. Like comparing that with Infinity War, and it's just like these two are incomparable. Even the Christopher Nolan Batman versus Justice League. Even then, I'm like, just let Chris Nolan do more.
Exactly. Like, I really enjoyed the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and I've seen large parts of Batman versus Superman and stuff like that, and I just don't
It's just
care.
not the same.
I think, like from what I heard of the production thing as well and the studio executives, I feel like that run up until the bomb that was Justice League they'd rush it. They wanted something to compete with Marvel, but faster.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think because of that backlash, and then also I think maybe finally being like, you know what, screw it, we're going to actually try doing individual films, because Wonder Woman was a huge success.
Well, that's what I was about to say. What films did they even really do before the first? What's it called? Justice League. Like they didn't do really like a Batman introduction. They did Batman Superman, which is a follow up to Man of Steel. And then they did Wonder Woman. I'm pretty sure the Flash was from a TV series that wasn't that great from what I remember.
It was well known, but I think it has, it was like a middle of the run kind of network cable TV show.
And then Cyborg was fresh, and Aquaman was fresh as well. So like 2 of your 5 people were all fresh. One of them had to share a film with another one. No one really cared too much about Superman in the first place. And then the last one, Flash, it was just a dead TV series. And it's like, you compare that with the first Marvel Avengers, and you're like, they all had their own individual origins films that all had these like endings and stuff that interlinked with each other, and then boom, massive, awesome film.
It was, you got to know them first.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me a bit more excited for this stuff is, for one thing, it looks like after the success of Wonder Woman, from the looks of these films, we're like, we're going to take it in a different direction. We're going to focus just on this character. And sort of the whole shtick of Shazam is he's this kid who gets blessed by like all the Greek gods, and he says Shazam, and he turns into a grown-up with all of these superpowers. But he's still got the mindset of a kid.
Formerly known as Captain Marvel, apparently.
Yep.
What, really?
Yeah. It was
but separate to the Marvel Captain Marvel.
What?
It was an initial dig at Marvel, but what cracks me up as well is like, it's so wacky.
Initial D.
Yeah, that is right up your street. That just, oh wow, it's a kid and he's got powers and he's a bloke.
Wow, pow, yeah.
It's something like, strength of Zeus, wisdom of such and such, the
he's my
determination
favourite Greek god.
Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles and Mercury.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the acronym.
So he's got the powers of all of these gods, but he's still this kid Billy. So I think the idea being that he might have to like grow up a little bit mentally over the course of the film and gain some maturity, but using these powers, I don't know.
Well, they already have the immature one in The Flash. And actually, what I meant to say back when you were talking about the films, the one that's been praised the most as being really good is Wonder Woman. That's like the only one I've not seen.
Yeah. Wonder Woman is
actually, I've not seen Man of Steel either. I couldn't give a shit about Superman.
Wonder Woman is a good film, I think. It's got a bit of a meh like final act, but fighting a big bad. We've seen it all 100 times before.
Fighting a big bad.
Yeah.
The big bad wolf.
Wonder
Woman.
I'm also a bit hyped for Aquaman because it looks like they're taking a bit more of a Guardians of the Galaxy route and just going wild with it. They've got people riding sharks, mer people, entire cities under the sea.
Well, they'd have to.
It's crazy.
It's Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Unless they do that, then it's kind of like, all right.
It's going less
I wonder if
grim.
Nemo will get a cameo.
It's less grim dark, and it feels more like the crazy world of comic books, which I think is one of the reasons why like a lot of the Marvel films did really well, was they embraced that it was a bit wild or wacky, and they embraced the weird mythos.
They got there. Guardians of the Galaxy was the first one that really established the popularity of the wild and wacky side. Like Captain America, a very serious film, like about going to war and stuff.
The Red
first
Skull
Thor was also very serious as well. And then it's like you compare the first Thor with Ragnarok, and they've just completely beefed up jokes and immaturity and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's happened very recently.
But as someone who's not really into comic books, the thing I really enjoy about the Marvel films, they're very like self-deferential. So they always seem to be saying, look, we know comic books are a bit ridiculous, so let's make jokes at each other. Like, take an Infinity War when Doctor Strange appears and Tony Stark's like taking the mick out of him, saying, like, "Oh, there's two wizards,"
Yeah.
and things like that. They know how ridiculous it is, and they mock themselves.
But yeah, the
I'll have to
original
see.
films I didn't think were that comic booky. They were all a little bit more serious. It was really the first Guardians of the Galaxy when it was like, oh, here's a superhero film with a lot of jokes. Deadpool obviously took it to the extreme, but that was the first one, and then ever since then they've kind of made it all a little bit wacky.
Yeah. I suppose I hadn't really noticed that. To be fair, speaking of sequels which are really good, I don't know if this will count, because again, as you say, trilogies, but Captain America the Winter Soldier?
Oh, no, yeah,
Much better
love
than the original,
Bucky.
yeah.
I think he's one of the best Marvel characters there is. In general, I love the Winter Soldier.
Again, it's
and
grittier.
Civil War as well that they had. Like, Bucky in that, I love Bucky.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
It's a lot grittier than the first Avenger, which
Yeah.
is nice. It isn't, and it actually has a better story to it.
And
The first Avengers, that was that the original one they did? I can't remember, but it was one of the first ones. It was Iron Man.
first.
But it was a bit like, okay, classic story. Goes to war, needs to beef up. Cool, saves the day. I'm this guy. Like, it felt a bit cheesy. Bucky comes in out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you've got this layer of mental depth that just the first one never had. Like,
I suppose when you're doing the first films, you want it to be a bit tried and tested to get people on board, but it's gritty for a reason as well. It doesn't feel like it's they're doing it for the sake of it.
well, yeah, Bucky's an awesome character because of how messed up he is. Like, in my opinion, anyway. Like, that's what makes him great. And that whole story of coming over that and what people have done to him and all that kind of stuff. Like the reveal when it's like, oh, he killed Iron Man's parents in Civil War is kind of just like, bruh, that was cool. From someone who doesn't read the comic books, I don't know a lot of this stuff. So when I see that, for me, that's cool. For a comic book reader and enthusiast, that's probably like, oh yeah, saw that coming. For me, I was like, bruh.
True, but
As if you did that.
it's also
You
that
crazy,
kind of,
Bucky, you crazy.
I bet it's that kind of thing, like, cool, but you're also really hyped of seeing it on screen and seeing it done so well.
Yeah, on a camera.
What? We do
Don't say that.
We do not endorse piracy officially on this show.
Officially.
Other sources are available.
Linked in the description below. I joke, they're not. Get up.
Thanks, Luke. Official stance. YouTube, don't take us down.
That's right, crystal meth was popped out earlier, we're all
It's
good.
okay, I think we're under the radar at this point.
What? No, once you surpass 5 views, that's when they see you.
We'll never get there.
So if I give it a watch,
I still haven't viewed any of them. So I don't remember the channel.
He turns up for the paycheck and then goes.
paycheck.
If only I was getting paid.
Like, give him a quid.
Let me look in my pocket and see what I've got.
Flick it out.
Just give him like a spare button.
I've
Flick
got a
it
little
at
bit
me
of
like
lint
my name's
here.
Crystal Blue.
Like a like pure pride on his face right now. I
I'm
love
having a
it.
great time.
Quality times.
Oh, we're coming up to video game season, that's exciting.
Oh yeah, of course, because autumn's coming up.
Yeah, boy. That's it. That's when I can kick on and actually talk about stuff again.
Yeah, when they accept that people don't go outside anymore and they need something to do on the inside.
Officially, we have to go outside at the moment.
Well,
Officially.
but again, we're going under the radar.
Yeah. Under the radar.
It's in the description below.
What, to inside?
Yeah.
URLs to inside?
No, just
Yeah.
pictures. Like we give URLs to pictures of people sitting indoors.
And that way when you're outside you can look at your phone and feel at home.
Exactly.
Hey.
So
So
why would you
inclusive.
interact with the real world anymore?
Escapism. Brought to you by Peda.
Actually, I do keep getting adverts on YouTube for the calming websites. So it's like spend 30 seconds just breathing and not doing anything, and they're actually quite good.
Wait, actually talking to you as...
Yeah, so just on videos that I watch, you get adverts, and one of the adverts is just take 30 seconds and just breathe for the duration of this ad. But it's quite nice actually, because there's a lot of focus on meditation and things like that to try and escape from the kind of technological stresses in the world that we're doing.
Fair.
Are you trying to tell me to pause that blocker?
Oh, this is.
Speaking on behalf of other people I know.
I use AdBlocker on my laptop. I don't have it on my phone, so that's why it comes up.
Just trying to think. I suppose there's saturation as well. Like just stop and breathe for a bit.
I find it makes you actually appreciate other stuff more. If you take a break and then you actually think, oh, I am watching this and I am enjoying this.
What did that? Something did that. There was a console. Was it the Wii that used to do that all the time? Like every hour or so, it would pop up and be like, "You've been playing this for a while. Take a break." Never did that. Not once. It would just be like, "I want to play tennis with me, man."
But Wii's the most active console as well.
Well, that was part of it as well. So people weren't like killing themselves playing tennis.
So there's a few less holes in the wall. I mean, I've had that from Netflix a few times.
Yeah,
they do it too.
Are you still watching? Are you still alive?
That's to check you're not dead, yeah.
I think one time it did just go, stop, go outside.
Just drooling into a bowl of nachos and filth.
Stop describing my weekend. Peaky Blinders was great.
How many did you get through?
I mean, I got through 2.
How'd you feel?
And then hour long.
They are an hour long each. I honestly want to watch episode 3 tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so there's a lot where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to find out more, I think my one thing is, because it's got so much going on for an hour, I think I feel a bit tired at the end of an episode.
Are you still watching?
Hey.
Yeah,
So-
I find that. I find my attention span for hour-long programs has been absolutely killed.
It's weird, like 45 minutes is fine, 20 minutes is dangerous because I keep going on to the next one.
Yeah, 20-minute shows I could watch hours and hours in a row, but as soon as you get over 45 minutes to an hour, I can only watch 1 or 2.
I don't know, Dragon Ball Z.
But
10 episodes of...
You still watched
Get
it.
out.
but no, I mean...
What would you rate the pilot?
The pilot, I would say, as a pilot, for like setting the scene, getting to know the characters, giving us some intrigue.
Did the pilot fly the plane off?
I was going to make that joke, but I thought it'd be too cheesy and I didn't want to
you gotta go with a bit of cheese.
I mean, as the first episode, I'd actually give it a solid 10.
Oh, Get Out, what? So it could not be improved in
I
any
cannot
way.
imagine any way they could have improved it.
What about more blondes?
Do you,
What about a ginger?
do you remember earlier when
How
I said
dare you?
I said that you only do extremes? All of your ratings are 10 or 0.
No, I said like...
Really? There's no improvements to it at all.
It honestly felt like the perfect first episode.
Do you think that's the best show you've ever watched on that basis, on a pilot?
Yeah, you're calling it a 10.
I think
That's
the most successful pilot, maybe not the most fun I've had, but the most successful pilot.
Aren't you meant to have fun when you watch TV? Like,
I mean,
enjoy the show.
Are you meant to have fun
Not
when you
necessarily
give it
fun,
10?
I mean, it was... The music was on point, the direction, the acting, the setting the scene, getting to know each of the individual characters.
What about the costumes?
Costumes were...
I know, he's right. Fucking film producer over there.
The costumes were pretty good.
The lighting, there was a lighting.
The lenses.
Oh,
it
they
was
used
alright.
wide angle.
Do they focus okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it felt... Yeah.
Do they use Movie Maker to switch between scenes like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban?
Did it really feel like 1919?
There were a few points as well, and I was like, wow. Episode 2, I'll be honest, was there was a bit of dodgy CG, which might have brought it down, but no, episode 1 was on point. Top.
10?
Oh, look. You know,
I really want these written down in an Excel spreadsheet just so we can see like where all of these go.
Does it make you want to go to Birmingham?
Nothing should ever make you go to Birmingham.
I mean, I can't go to 1919 Birmingham.
Maybe. Well, some parts of it.
The coal was still burning. I mean...
I was actually hearing them say that on the radio today, that Poldark is made so many people go to Cornwall and to these 2 particular beaches in Cornwall. They're asking people not to go there and go to other beaches just because it's that popular and it has that such of an effect on the tourism.
What cracked me up is you said Poldark and I was like, is that some D&D realm?
What is Poldark?
It's another TV show.
Oh, this sounds so good. I might give it a 10.
Actually, you'll know, it has Aidan Turner from Being Human.
Oh, the guy with long hair.
Yeah.
One of the dwarves in The Hobbit, yeah, just to make sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do like him as an actor.
Yeah, same. I don't have any interest in it because it's a period drama, but apart from that,
Okay.
Aidan Turner.
Don't know the name.
Oh, okay. You know The Hobbit. In The Hobbit, one of the dwarves who looks the most human. He falls in love with the elf.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
Okay, cool.
There you go. That's Aidan Turner.
Nice. I've learned something today.
Good looking chap.
You may have 3 listeners.
Who knows? We might have 4 if you send the link out, or if Ped clicks on one of the videos.
This is true.
Or if I click on one of the videos. Or if Gabe, you click on one of the videos.
I'll see what I'm doing this week.
Let me check my empty calendar.
You don't know my details.
Link in the description.
What's my details?
Why not?
The viewers might want to order a Deliveroo.
Height, weight, personal preferences. What is it? A dating profile?
If you want to put it up there.
No.
Wait, would you seriously? Should we do that one week? Should we get you make a dating profile podcast?
Oh, God.
We can link it to your Match.com.
I wouldn't get Match.com.
Yeah.
Don't pay for that.
That is true.
You can't put a price on love, guys. So don't pay for dating.
Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, definitely don't buy pearls.
Pearls of Harbour.
Ooh.
I got adjudged.
It's not my top film.
Gabe, what else did you do this week?
What else did I do this week?
You did an escape room.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my level of Bates takeaways.
Yeah, it's because I have to tell you how to structure this podcast.
Yeah, but did you
Oh.
did you see how the conversation nicely flowed and he didn't cut off the rest of the old conversation?
Well, shut up.
Yeah.
This now.
Oh, you guys are talking. Okay, next topic.
Oh wow. Alright.
It was bait but fluid.
Fluid bait?
and switch.
Liquid bait?
Liquid bait.
I don't know.
Yeah. You did an escape room, your first one. Welcome to the club. Did you enjoy it?
It was alright. We got out.
We did get out. Good film.
It was
Very good film.
every time we say the words get out.
It's a good film.
I mean, yeah,
If
but
you haven't yet, watch Get Out. Good film.
good escape room too.
No, we did different. We did Heaven and Hell.
That's true.
And we got out. Good film.
For anyone who doesn't know what an escape room is, the concept is you get locked in a room and you have an hour usually to get out by following clues.
It felt like the Crystal Maze.
Yeah, it does. If you've seen game shows like that, Crystal Maze, Fort Boyard, it's very similar. Lots of puzzles and problem solving.
I mean, literally the moment where the woman's standing at the door and she was like, okay, you're about to go in here and do this thing. It felt like people were video recording on the side, like you're about to go into one of the rooms in the Crystal Maze. Like, it really felt like that.
Yeah, it's great.
And then all the cameras in the room as well, obviously watching over. No clues. Absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, that is good.
I mean, it also was a series of rooms as well, dear listeners.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, often
It wasn't like
you're
one
moving
single
through.
room for an hour. It was like we'd solve a puzzle in one room, we'd open a door or way through to the next one. Yeah, it was great. And I'm 100% agree with you. It was, we do this themed room, this themed puzzle, we go through to the next one.
I mean, we make it sound incredibly boring, but the puzzles were really fun.
It was sick. One of them was like, first this skeleton just lying around with a bunch of blood bags.
Yeah, do you know what? If people want to play Heaven and Hell,
Yeah.
I'm not telling them the
description
answer.
below. Think about all of the work Gabe has to do for this podcast now for links in the description.
Yeah, they are popping up everywhere. There's loads coming up in London. Different themed ones, like I think there's a Harry Potter themed one.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yes, I would do that.
Next trip to London?
Well, when we go Comic Con,
Yeah, alright.
if they're up.
I mean, I'm sure that there will be Harry Potter escape rooms in London during Comic Con. Maybe not at Comic Con.
But I mean, if he's saying they're popping up now, like, it depends if it's ready. If it's ready, I'm definitely down.
100%.
Maybe there'll be an escape room at the Comic Con.
Definitely book ahead though. But
Yeah.
yeah, like in America, there's ones that are coming up, like Rogue One for Star Wars. There's Prison Break,
I'd be less inclined for Rogue One.
Bates Motel, and Breaking Bad. Like there's just loads of them coming out, and
Yeah.
they're just massively increasing in popularity.
I think
I reckon it won't be long before there's a Saw one.
Yeah.
Like horror themed ones.
I think there is one actually. I remember talking to someone about that.
Because I reckon there'll be quite a few of those, like this person's chasing you, get out of here, like escape the forest or something, like Slender Man or some.
I'd be surprised if there weren't, because it's the perfect setup.
Yeah,
it's just also a question of
you just turn up the ambience, like music, smoke it, smoke like machines, like the lighting, like, and then you do like the occasional jump scare or something. Like,
yeah, so there's one for Saw in Las Vegas.
There we go.
Yeah, of course it would be in Las Vegas, wouldn't it? Yeah, that does not surprise. I reckon that's probably quality though. I would never do it because I'd probably get terrified, but I reckon it's quality for those who are horror enthusiasts.
We have to do it.
No, I wouldn't be able to solve puzzles under duress. This is the reason I know I wouldn't be able to do it is because it would be heavily like gore inspired because of Saw.
Thor escape room, lots of gore, lots of Thor.
But like the first room that we entered in the escape room that we did, there was just loads of like they're like the blood packets for blood types.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what they're called. Okay, yeah, and they were like obviously stained with like I don't know, like red crayon or something. But it made me feel disgusting. But anyway, even holding them, I was like, this feels horrible.
Yeah.
Because it just looks correct. Yeah, like
you seem
things
so
like that.
chill.
I know. Yeah. Well, you know, you've got to do the puzzle, but it makes me feel disgusted holding it. I'm just like, this is off-putting, and having a whole room like that or whatever, I'd just be like, nah.
He just felt like saying, "Ew, grody."
Like Halloween stuff, when people are like covered in fake blood, it makes me feel weird. Like I don't like going near it.
Fair.
I don't know why, and I'd be the same in the Saw one.
It's weird because you work in an abattoir.
Abattoir. Yeah, good fun escape rooms. Would recommend to anyone. I know for a fact that 2 of the 3 listeners have already done one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the
It's
other
good
one.
though. It's all part of the trend of people wanting to spend more money on experiences as well, rather than buying things.
I think
they keep coming up with loads of surveys that millennials are much more interested in doing experiences than buying things. Like for instance, one of my friends went and did chicken tasting. So like,
what, just tasting chicken?
Just fried chicken,
free range, and caged.
Yeah. You just bite the neck off the chicken and see what happens.
Fucking hell.
Crystal Blue.
There's quite a lot of food festivals and things like that
where
you can go and you'll pay a set fee and just try 5 or 6 different vendors' chickens and things like that, and chicken wraps and that. So people are trying to put more money into experiences.
I guess. I don't know if I'd be so down for like the chicken tasting, but I would definitely recommend, if there's like escape rooms near you, check them out. Also, if you're going with friends, it's not so fun on your own.
I mean,
you can do it, but it's harder.
Yeah.
I think they say 3 to 4 people is probably ideal.
Because many minds make like work. There's like what, 5 of us, though? 6?
Who are you forgetting? Out on the podcast, who did you forget?
He doesn't count himself as a person.
Hayden might have been lounging around a lot, but he was still there.
It's alright, he was there in spirit.
It's alright, you don't listen.
Aiden, you're dead to me.
I'm going to send him a link to the timestamp for that.
43 minutes.
On the experiences front, I went and did some high ropes and stuff at Go Ape the other day. So
is Go Ape as good as they say?
It is. It was really good. It's a little bit expensive because like about 30 quid, and it took us about 3 hours.
Is it like a lot of climbing up trees and going across like wooden bridges? Not wooden bridges, but I mean like the rope bridges, and then like zip wiring. Yeah, zip wires, rope bridges. They have what they call a Tarzan swing, where you swing into a net, and then lots of just climbing over stuff and like sounds like boot camp.
Yeah, it was actually quite.
Definitely.
It was quite a workout, but still fun. The Olympic rings that you can hold on. They had those, but you had to walk across them, and like that was the more extreme version of what you could do. So that was good fun.
Sounds pretty lit.
Yeah, I mean you're out in a forest, and
Centre Parks.
Yeah, it's where Centre Parks is. Like there's one at Thetford. It was good fun, but if you're afraid of heights, it's not the best thing.
I mean, not the best, but you're still safe-ish.
Yeah, if you're
throwing out an ish.
No, he's right. You may be kind of 10 to 20 foot in the air and you're tied on with cables. But you are responsible for your own cables, so, if you don't tie it on, you might be a bit stuffed. But
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, ish. Sounds good, though.
But it is preferable.
30 quid for 3 hours as well.
It's preferable to standing on the top of a really high building.
Yeah, I will say this much.
That puts me off it, the tying the ropes thing.
Oh, it's really
not
easy.
being able to tie shoelaces
it's
at a
not-
young age is a sign of dyslexia. Being dyslexic, I'm no good
So
with
you
knots.
don't tie any ropes. You don't
Oh,
tie
okay,
knots.
alright, that-
You literally just
clip
you
it.
Is
have,
it
like,
like click of
you have
click
carabiners. You
Yeah.
clip
Okay,
them on.
alright.
Yeah.
That I'm solid with. I thought you were like you have to tie a rope to a whole pole,
Oh,
and if you
no.
don't do that, I'm like dead.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but I don't know all my ropes.
Because every section of it you have to clip yourself on and off, so that would take ages if you had to tie it.
Okay, cool.
That would be boot camp.
Only got shoelaces down year 11, didn't I? So
Could have just bought Velcro.
I did until year 11.
You made it pretty far. What made you make the change?
A friend wasn't allowing me to go through life without shoelace tying. You know.
Oh,
Cheers, Tom.
Luke.
Ah.
what a jerk.
But he
There's
can,
no need for that. Brown's alright.
yeah, he can swim. He had to learn how to do that at some point.
Not me.
No.
I mean, I still can't.
Can you not?
No.
You can't swim. Like at all? Like are you
Ish.
like you hit the water and you drop, or can you doggy paddle?
Oh,
doggy
Not
paddle.
move. Okay.
I know how I'm going to kill you then.
Mum, if you're listening. I love
Mama
you.
made it.
Solid. I'll also be hyped for video game season.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot.
And-
I've too many to name now. And now I need to give me the Xbox. Now all of a sudden Gears of War and Halo come back into the picture, so got those as well.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like it should be too many.
You're so
Too
excited.
I am,
about
yeah.
it.
I'm kind of teetering on whether I do Call of Duty or not. Who knows?
Man, all the big numbers.
Yeah, we'll see. It's coming up.
Fair.
All the fun of the fair.
Aw.
Alright, cut that.
It's good.
When was the last time you went to a fair?
Do the ones by the seaside count?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Do they?
Why not?
Maybe it's a fair, isn't it?
It-
Fairground?
I think the last time I went to a fair was on my sister's last birthday.
Was it Med Fair?
No, it was not. It was like the Winter Wonderland in Cambridge.
Winter
Does
Soldier
that count as a
Wonderland.
fair?
Yeah.
What are we considering a fair? If it has a carousel, does that mean it's a fair? Because I think Winter Wonderland has that kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Good point. There was one of them giant, like, slalomy bouncy castle slides.
Wait, what?
So, like,
Like a big bouncy castle that you slide down.
yeah,
Oh, just the slides.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like 3-story. No, not 3 stories. It was pretty. It was high
Yeah,
up.
that's
And
a-
how old
that's
were
a
you?
slide.
And did you go on it?
I was too big.
When the age restriction works against you.
Yeah, I know.
When your obesity works against you.
I'm too heavy, apparently.
It's just an inflatable, Gabe.
Apparently, I'm not just an inflatable. I'm a lead weight.
That's why you can't swim.
You would have crushed a poor child. Like, fair enough, they didn't
No,
let you
just
go.
crush his sister. She's fine.
But to be fair, I think she
Isn't
may
that
have.
the point of having an older brother that they just,
She might have kicked a few strangers on the way down.
Oh, fair play.
See, why didn't you have the courage to do that?
Because I'm 24 and she's like 11.
Yeah, but you got a mental age of 11.
Yeah, but that doesn't hold up.
I don't know. I think you can get away with it in court.
I have an interesting topic that I just thought of recently. Sorry if you were thinking about wrapping this up. So Ninja is the guy who is the biggest Twitch streamer for playing Fortnite, and so he's absolutely massive. He, for a while now, has been saying he doesn't want a Twitch stream with any females because it will cause drama in his relationship because he's married. Because all of a sudden people make clickbait videos of like Ninja and this person did this thing. He's like, if he says anything even remotely flirtatious, these clickbait videos come out, they cause him a lot of drama in his videos, and everyone's just going to mooch off him for views, and then he's going to have to deal with the fallout with his girlfriend because she's going to see all of this on the internet, or wife. And then, yeah. And now recently there's been like a whole debate about, is he sexist for doing that? Should he be the person that stands up and says, no, this isn't okay, and so I'm going to stream with them because people should be making these videos and make that case? Or does he have a leg to stand on because he doesn't want to like ruin his own relationship to stream with females? But by saying I don't want to stream with females, is he being sexist even though he's doing it for his current marriage? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting debate that's going on at the moment, and
Well, that's deep.
It's a really big one, isn't it?
If you're immediately excluding people on the basis of their sex, that is sexism. But on a personal level, I would say it just depends on his relationship with his wife. I would be concerned that if doing that streaming would be enough to damage his relationship with his wife, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that, but it's also, imagine, like, because they're both probably going to be heavily online based people because they are on Twitch and things like that. So it's like, imagine for her, she opens up YouTube and she's probably subbed to Ninja and watches a lot of his videos and stuff, and then like all of the stuff that will come up in her feed is like Ninja and X-streamer like flirted like here and all that kind of stuff. Like there are a lot of Twitch channels dedicated to Fortnite highlights, and a lot of them revolve around people like flirting and stuff. So there's two called TSM Myth and Pokimane. There's a guy and a girl, and they stream together a lot, and there's a whole thing about them two flirting all the time, even though they're both single.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what he doesn't want. He doesn't want all these videos causing trouble in his
But
relationship.
that actually doesn't matter. Like, from a relationship point of view, you need to see the whole context.
Mhm.
So you just watch, if you're reasonable, you'd watch all of it and say, oh, I don't think you are flirting, or you are. Or, failing that, just have your wife there when it happens. You two stream and have your wife in the room. You shouldn't necessarily have to be on camera or anything, but she can be there.
Or
She'd be able to see it with her own eyes whether she thinks you were flirting.
Well, it is a Twitch stream. I mean, it's all going to be live either way, so you could always watch that. But it's what he's worried about is like those 30-second clips that people just take and then they throw it out. And then the other point is people just use it for their own personal gain, and he doesn't want to fuel that side of YouTube.
So
And he feels that if he makes that clip, then all of a sudden people might get a lot of success off of him because he did that, and then they can twist it into their own story.
But you've seen with PewDiePie, you can't necessarily worry about people taking things out of context and how it affects you, because you know that you've got the full context on video. You know
So
that you've got
it's-
the evidence to go against it.
it's kind of, again, I've not seen any of his videos or his Twitch, so I'm quite out of the loop on this
You
one.
didn't know
but-
what Twitch was 3 months ago.
I know, so I'm slowly making up for lost time. But it sounds like it's three things. The first is he's worried about if he goes on Twitch streams with people, people perceive him to be flirting, they post back, that goes viral. He's worried that his wife might get insecurities or might end up getting a lot of negative spotlight perhaps as a knock-on effect. So that's one. The other is he doesn't want people who, again, I might be completely wrong on this.
He does like a recap at this point.
Yeah, I thought
and
we explained it pretty well.
Yeah.
Another one is he doesn't want people who basically capitalize off of, and their entire stream runs off of, essentially aggressive shipping wars.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give
I'm waiting for the point.
he doesn't want to give them fuel. And the third one is, rather than undertake the kind of weighty thing of going, no, I'm going to do it anyway, but also speak out against them, he's essentially saying, I'm going to cut it off at its source. Yes, by doing something kind of sexist, which is going, because of your gender, I will not stream with you.
Yes.
But yeah, so sorry, that was a recap.
But another
But
interesting point is that a lot of these
where does
streamers
his
go
wife stand
to
on?
live events.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of fans saying a lot of things to them. So another one of the popular ones is a guy called FaZe Tfue, and he's the other considered best player on Fortnite. And those two often, when they're out in public, like people go up to Tfue and say to him, Ninja's the best player, I think he's better than you, and put all that on him. And it's like Ninja goes to a lot of these events with his wife, and then if there are rumours on the internet of that, and then these fans are coming up to him like, oh, you stream with that person, you two were flirting or whatever, and she's there, I can understand why he doesn't want her to feel that all the time as well.
Yeah, but is that any different to any other kind of fame? Because surely if he goes to these events with his wife, there's girls and even guys as well who come up to him and say, oh my god, Ninja, I love you so much.
I think it's no different, but I also don't blame him for wanting to cut it off, like, and just be like, I'm not willing to even start that conversation.
But the cynic in me says he's raised it in order to get attention. Because you could just ignore it. You could just, people say that they want you to do this, but you could just ignore it and not do it.
It's true.
I thought it was just an interesting thing. It's like split a lot of people's opinions in terms of, is he sexist, is he not? In terms of both women and men taking both sides. Like,
I think
it has completely split a lot of people.
It's one of those ones that's difficult because yeah, as I said at the beginning, excluding people on the basis of their sex is what sexism is. However, when relationships get involved, that's where it does get complicated, because you're talking about people's sexual preferences. So he's attracted to women, so that's why the women in it become an issue. It's not necessarily something against women in general. It's that he'd probably feel, if he was gay, he'd probably feel the same if it was guys. So it's not due to their gender, but it's due to something associated
Sexuality.
with their gender.
More than anything, then.
In a way, yeah.
I think it boils down to, as well, the sort of culture of aggressive shipping. So rather than just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, that's a thing, people hardcore drop all these
You
things.
should get together.
Yeah, Amazon and Parcel Force really going at each
Yeah.
other.
I thought it was just an interesting one.
They
that
got
popped
no
up yesterday.
respect.
A lot of that come out.
Has
And
it
I
been
was like,
said?
interesting.
Because if she Twitch streams a lot as well, if she's got a similar stance,
She doesn't stream. She sometimes jumps on his stream and plays a game with him, but
Mm.
never streams herself, as far as I'm aware. Allegedly.
smooth.
No, yeah, as far as I'm aware, she doesn't stream, but she occasionally jumps on his stream and like is in like frame with him.
So it's a question of, you know, by him making a big announcement of it, does it make it into a bigger deal than it needs to be, and is it him, you know, riding a wave of controversy for attention?
And a
That's
lot of
He's
these-
already the biggest Twitch streamer. He doesn't really need to ride any wave of controversy. It would be my only counter to that, but even then I agree with the cynic point of view. If you're already making a lot of money, you want to make more and stay in that spotlight, so
Cynicism.
like
And it's one of those things that particularly YouTube celebrities, but a lot of celebrities talk about, is do you pay attention only to people who support you, or do you pay attention to the quote unquote haters? So
oh, that quote unquote.
yeah, and
there was
but
savagery in
there
that
was,
voice.
but it-
Hated.
haters, potatoes. But yeah, and that's something that you do actually have to consider, because do you need to change what you're doing on the basis of the people who are just going to criticise you anyway? Because if he wants to go and stream with those girls, then he might as well do that, because he wants to do that and he enjoys it, and then not worry about the people criticising, because most of the people who are criticising will do it regardless. So maybe just look at the people who support you and then see what they say. Although I'm not completely supportive of that, because I don't feel like you should only listen to people who agree with you. I think you should listen to people who disagree with you as well.
Oh yeah, don't echo chamber yourself.
Yeah,
Don't tap the
exactly.
table.
Hey,
Cheers, boy.
there we go. Even if Flaky Dan's not here, tables get tapped.
It's just a smoking habit. Just get the illusion out of the way.
Yeah, you're mocking a vicious addiction.
As a smoker, when he's locked in a tight confined space and can't go out for a cigarette, he's tapping the table to deal with it. Just to let you know, that's what you're mocking. Addiction, right there, Gabe.
Wow.
Then I will.
You're making jokes about crystal
Find out
meth.
more about that discussion.
On Talk to Frank.
Oh,
Crystal meth. We've come full circle.
nice. Before next week though, what am I going to watch?
Oh, I don't know. You got a good show. Like, if at this point we just go with BBC originals, I feel like we might as well throw out just a good show that you should watch.
I mean,
I can't think of anything off the top of the dome.
I'll say this much. I think I messaged you this over the weekend. Insatiable is now viewable on Netflix, so I
We'll
could
discuss that.
go back and actually watch it.
Um,
The sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. You can sort of touch on what all the controversy was about, and if you see about that,
Let's go find out if any of our speculation was actually true.
Yeah, good point. I still believe don't be a dick and you'll be all right. But,
Solid life lessons. Stay tuned for more.
they're all terrible.
Oh. Well, other than being terrible and making fun of addictions, I've been Gabe.
I've been Luke.
And I've been bad.
Find a shot at me at the end. Classic game.